Every day, there are men who wake up not just to provide, but to protect, to lead, and to carry weight that most people would never fully understand. Today's guest is more than just a teacher. He's shaping minds in a system that doesn't always see the value in the lives he's trying to build. He's a husband, holding down a foundation at home, and he's a father, raising two young kings in a world that will challenge them before it ever celebrates them. But what makes him different is that he refuses to stay silent. As a black man in America, he doesn't just see injustice, he speaks on it. He challenges it, and he lives in a space where truth can come with a cause. So today, this isn't just a conversation. This is about fatherhood. This is about purpose. This is about pressure. And this is about what it really means to stand tall when the world expects you to shrink. This is a conversation you don't just listen to, you feel. So let's get into it. What's up, family? This your boy PZP, and this is my corner 33. And I'm so happy that you came back to kick the bobo with your boy. And today, I got an excellent man. I got a good man right here. His name is Jarrell The Griot.
All right, what's up, my good man?
Thank you, boss.
Hey,
man.
bro, listen, that intro, bro. That intro, man, you gave me some goosebumps, man.
Hey,
that's
bro.
What's up. I appreciate that vantage point, brother.
Hey, nah, bro. Like when I first met you at Interpretations, maybe like 2 Saturdays ago, and when I seen your set, I love all the sets, but when I seen your set, I said, yeah, I definitely gotta check him out, man. I gotta see what he's about. You was different. Yeah. I mean, everybody was different, but you was different because you had the music with yours. You was flowing with it. You know, very intellectual. So, can you introduce yourself to the family out there?
Absolutely. What's going on, family? Like you said, I go by the name of Jarrell The Griot, MC, educator, entrepreneur, doing all things for the black community, man. Because specifically for the black babies. And that's been the vibes for me. That's been the purpose for me since I was a young lad. I mean, I've been working with kids since I was one. That was my first job. And yeah, man, everything is aligned with the overall purpose of telling our story and making sure that we heard in the way that we not always heard. You know, I still got that urban edge, but I got that intellect too that kind of combines to make them believe like we can still be from where we from, and we can still, you know, be around the people we around and look and dress and be how we want to, but we can still find the success and find the power and the honor in that, man. So that's me in a nutshell. But of course, we'll dissect it more as we get through.
Nah, that's real, man. Because being smart is cool.
Absolutely. I'm gonna tell y'all, man. Like I've been an honor roll student my whole life. Graduated cum laude from the North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University. Shout out to my Aggies, man. Yeah. Like I'm always been for being intelligent, but as a creative, I also know that people like to draw outside the lines. And the way that we are brought up in the school system, man, it's not always in our best interest. It's not always challenging our intellect because we got a different lens we coming from. You know what I mean? So that's what it is.
No, that's big fact, man. So look, I got a couple questions with my man Jarrell The Griot, and I just have to say this. When I first met Jarrell The Griot, he had his wife with him.
Facts.
When I'm on his Instagram, he got his wife with him.
Facts again.
And today in the studio, he got his wife with him.
She's right over there.
In the background, chilling, man. And you know, that's the best support. You got to support outside the crib and in the crib. And that's beautiful, bro.
Absolutely.
Hopefully, I can do a sit down with them two together, man. And I can talk about what it takes to keep a marriage afloat like these two people are doing, man. Seriously, man. This is beautiful. It's all beautiful. Black families matter, man. 100%. Keeping the dad in the crib is important, man. I just got to start that off, man.
For sure. And I mean, especially because I came from a single parent household.
Me too, bro.
You know what I mean? So it's a lot of things. I be telling her telling her all the time, like husbandhood, fatherhood is something that I am literally learning as I'm doing it. Like when they say you building the plane as you flying it, like that's my life. But I like you gotta have a sole purpose of wanting to do it. You know what I'm saying? And want to do it well, man. So
that's big fact.
I mean, I make mistakes and I stumble and I'm constantly trying to learn to get better.
Yeah.
Because that's a part of manhood.
That's it.
We can't expect to step up and be perfect.
That's it.
Especially where we come from. But
that's it.
You gotta have a desire to just get better every day, man.
That's it. And then especially if you ain't grow up with a man in the crib, how are you supposed to know?
How you supposed to know?
We learning every day, player.
Every single one.
For sure, man. So who are you beyond the titles, beyond the teacher, beyond the husband, beyond the father?
To start, like I'm a spiritual man.
Word,
you know what I'm saying? God is good, and people say that with such like frivolous understanding of like how intricate. I call him the ultimate author, the ultimate creator, and he's just so intricately and so finely putting my story together that like I can't lose, man. Even in the moments where I feel like I fall short, even in the moments where I feel like, you know what I mean, I feel like I misstepped or, you know, I dropped the ball in whatever way. He always is using those things as a way to personally better me, to be better for him. You know what I'm saying? To be better for the purpose he has for me. And so once again, with that lens, it's hard to fail. It's hard to fall short because he always just he's working and intertwining certain aspects of everything that I'm doing. And the fact that as a young man, I saw the vast amounts of things that he put inside of me to do. And as I've grown and matured, the idea was like taking all of these different pieces of myself and being able to blend them and make them so cohesive that wherever I show up, I can be the same person, and it's not contradictory at all. It's not fighting against each other as a concept. So, like for example, I'm sitting here today with you talking good talk. I just came from an education conversation earlier today. I was at a gala last night. You know what I'm saying? But I get to be the same individual in all those places, and none of them clash with each other. You know what I'm saying? So I think in essence, I'm just grounded in my oneness. If that makes sense. I'm grounded in who I am, and I'm comfortable in that. And I make everybody else comfortable with that.
I got you. I got you. Nah, that's real.
Yeah.
So from what I'm getting from it, you very spiritual, right? Just like me, right? So at what age did you think or did you know when you first heard God?
That's a good question, man. That's a real good question. Can I be completely honest with you?
Yeah, bro, please.
When I start having a conversation with my wife, bro.
Wow.
And real talk. And we've conversed about this quite some time. Like I always grew up. Like I was in proximity church. Like my first job was in the church summer camp. But it's like I wasn't church brought up. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't brought up in the church, whereas like I was, you know, reading my Bible early on and all of that stuff. I had a base level foundational understanding of who God was, and I knew for sure that I had some type of anointing on me. I just had that feeling. But until I like met my wife and we started to really lock in for real, having those conversations, and she making me recognize like, yo, just because you're not church folk, that don't mean you can't be of God. That doesn't mean you're not of God. And your image and your understanding and your desire to learn more, like that's all he's looking for. So you ain't gotta look like church folk, you ain't gotta talk like church folk, you ain't gotta act like church folk. God's still here, God still see you, and he's still using you. And then once I open myself up to that, that's when I'm like, okay, now I'm really understanding how God talked to me in the way that I understand. So whether it be like whispering an idea to me, and I'm just like, now we call them downloads. You know what I'm saying? So what we would be having a conversation about an idea, creative idea or something, and I'd be like, oh yo, this is download in real time. So that lets her know like God is telling me something right now in this moment, and I'm coming about a revelation about something right now. So it might come out a little wonky. I might not have it all together, but he's telling me something right now. She'd be like, yeah, let it loose. Let it loose. Let's get that out so that we know what we're working with. So really, like when we started having those conversations, that's when I kind of got really grounded in who I was as a man of God. Yeah. Shout
out to the wife.
For sure.
And that that's beautiful that y'all got your own conversation, like y'all own code words.
For sure.
That's awesome.
So many.
That's awesome, bro. That's real, bro. Yeah, that's real. So your faith, you always had faith just from a youngin.
Just GP, like I realized it was just I always felt different. Yeah. I called myself a chameleon though. Yeah. So it was a time where like I've always felt like I'm able to blend and fit in spaces. Mm-hmm. Me getting mature and realize I didn't have to come outside of myself to do that. That's the only difference I had. But I always recognized like I could connect with people. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I could go and sit in a professional setting and make the other people feel comfortable. But I could also sit in the hood and be like, you know what I'm saying, what's good with you? I'm not on what y'all doing, but I'm not about to judge y'all for what y'all doing. I'm not about to, make y'all feel uncomfortable sitting around me. We all still family at the end of the day. But when I got older, I just, that anointing, I realized it's specific for a reason because I'm going to be in these spaces and I need to be able to bring the message that he put in me to bring, regardless of where I am. Yeah. The challenge was coming to a space where I'm comfortable enough with who he made me to be able to just be who I am regardless and not really shifting to be in spaces, but just I'm showing up as who I am. Yeah. And it's comfortable and it's acceptable by all parties.
That's it. Yeah. And that's it, man. And that's basically, man, being yourself. At the end of the day, you ain't got to fake it to make it, man.
Do you, man. Do you.
That's it,
Do you and be proud.
What part of your story do people misunderstand the most?
I think the idea like that we talked earlier about like growing up in a single parent household. I think there was a time where I heavily leaned on that as I won't say as a crutch, as a piece of my story that gave me excuse. That's what I'll say. It was a piece of my story that gave me excuse. And when I started to like peel back the layers of that and realizing some of the things that was brought about, when you first look at the concept, like you said, no dad in house, like he was around and like you know what I'm saying, much love, respect to my pops, but it was an understanding of like, yo, this was still a divine intervention. Because like his direct influence on me might have shifted who I was because of who he was. And not to blame him for who he is because his story is his story and how he came up had effect on him in the same way that how I came up had effect on me. Yeah. And then even with my mom and how we interacted growing up, she had to make a choice. She's like, I can either be regular mother and nurturing role, but recognizing that we don't have that masculinity there, I gotta play one role or the other. And I would rather have you be a respectable young man than coddle you as just how mothers do and nurture you, and then you don't get that other side, and now you out here reckless. Like, so she had to make choices too, and not to say there was not adverse effects of that, but it was the best choices. Yeah. And like I said, it was all divine because of who I am today. None of the aspects of myself could have happened if my story wasn't the way it was. So I think the misconception is some of these bad situations and some of these bad parts of your upbringing you look at and you use it as a reason to not be great, when in actuality it might be exactly why you are. Yeah, exactly. If that makes sense.
Hey man, I always tell people, man, that like no matter what you're going through, drugs, alcohol, whatever mental health you're going through, man, you gotta use those experiences to make you Superman, Joe. Them your superpowers, man.
Superpowers, bro.
Yeah, that's big fact, man. And it's you could tell what young man grew up in a crib with both parents versus what young man did.
Absolutely,
there's a big difference.
Absolutely,
like my little bro, he grew up in a crib with his mom and my father or whatever. And then we two totally different people, you know what I'm saying? I mean, for me, I got it together later in life. My little bro had it together fresh out the crib, you feel me? But hell of a guy though, man, for real.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, man. What made you choose education, especially as a black man?
For lack of better words, man, they chose me. For real, like, started off like how you in elementary school, middle school, and you got to get volunteer hours. Yeah. So my first opportunity getting those volunteer hours, I was working actually out here in Arlington at some creative arts programs and summer camps.
Yeah.
That's what 11, 12 years old. So at 11 and 12, I'm working with kindergartners, first graders, second graders, doing productions and a bunch of performing arts stuff. You know what I mean? And doing summer enrichment. So we doing lessons and stuff as well. My first job was in a creative performing arts camp, a Christian performing arts camp. Doing the same type of stuff, working with young boys from K4 to probably like second grade, so that's like 4 to 8 years old.
Yeah.
Doing step shows and like all this, putting productions on, teaching as well. And so that kind of always been in me.
Yeah.
I had other thoughts in terms of where I wanted to go when I went to A&T, because of course I grew up in the science and tech area, and as a smart kid, if anybody grew up in PG, and that's a whole nother conversation. But like how they separate students based off of like what is perceived as their intellect. Like, okay, these are the kids that we see maybe college bound and maybe smart, blah blah blah. We're gonna put them over here. So that was like your talented and gifted programs. I was in those science and tech. Like I did that in high school. So I was on that side of the fence. But even looking as an educator now, I'm like, bro, the type of things that we was learning, every kid should have been getting that. We shouldn't have had to decipher between who deserved to get a quality education, who did not. But that's, like I said, that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
But yeah, thought I was going to be a chemical engineer when I went to college. Shifted over to communication, so that's when I started doing like my media production thing and all that. And then got out of college, and the first purpose job, and I say that lightly because, like I say, I believe like every step in the game is purposeful. But my first purposeful job offer was in an elementary school, and I went in there and like shook the joint up. Mr. J came in there and was like, he did the thing, and because of that, you know what I'm saying, it kind of sparked that light in me. I'm like, yo, this make me want to get up every day. Like this is the type of energy I need. I've never been able to work a job that's just for money. And I know, man, shout out to everybody who's able to do that. Like I could care less about what I'm doing as long as I'm getting it back. If that's you, do you, dog? Like for sure. But for me, I had to feel like I was doing something purposeful. You know what I mean? And that's the one space that I felt like, yo, you are making an impact each and every day. That's like every single day. Just your presence here, how you show up, that affects. Because I mean, some people go there, I'm dragging. They don't talk to me. I'm gonna sit in my office. I'm gonna sit in my cubicle. Don't say nothing to me. I don't want no meetings today, none of that. Regardless of what you feel like when you wake up in the morning, you walk into that school, them kids is looking for you because some of them don't have what you offer them every day. You know what I mean?
I'm telling you, hey man, y'all teachers need to pay attention. Y'all mean ass teachers out there, man. Seriously, don't be mean to these kids, man. Like my man Jarrell The Griot say, man, some kids a lot of kids don't have a dad in the crib. They probably come to school, they looking at Jarrell The Griot like a dad figure. You know what I'm saying? So what you doing, man? I just want to give you your flowers while you're here, bro. Because at the end of the day, teachers, sometimes the only adult a kid might see is a teacher in the school. Their mom and dad might be always at work, so the only adult figure they see is a teacher, man. So I'm happy that you doing what you do. You change these kids' life, man, one kid at a time, bro.
Man, listen, and it's funny. I done seen so many come, so many go, and it's like as a teacher, you create a community in your classroom. Now, with the fortunate part, like I've seen both inside the classroom and outside the classroom. When you're in the classroom as a teacher full time, you get to create this little family. And that lasts for about 9 months. And then it's over and you start over again. And it's like now that I'm working outside the classroom, so now I'm working with the whole school population. So the relationships that I get to form, I get to watch them, you know what I'm saying, grow for multiple years and still be having direct access to them. And like it's fulfilling. You know what I'm saying? People that are teachers that just doing it for any other reason than the fulfillment of watching kids grow and trying to make them into their best selves, man. I don't know what you're doing it for, because it ain't it ain't for the weak hearted, bro. It's not for the weak hearted.
It's definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
It's definitely ain't, bro. What do young black boys in your classroom need that they're not getting?
Love, understanding, nurturing,
talking,
structure,
dropping
discipline, like so many things. Emotional regulation.
Yeah.
A lot of times I see the young man. This is probably the thing that's like most like demoralizing for me is as a kid that grew up with a single mom. It's like I said, she picked the way that she was going to raise me as a black boy to make sure that I could become a black man.
Yeah.
A lot of mothers today, unfortunately, and I don't know if it's necessarily a fault because they're not even really at full understanding of what black masculinity is supposed to look like.
No doubt.
But they're unintentionally crippling their sons by how they're dealing with them, how they're handling them. I see so many, and not to be derogatory, but I see so many sassy little boys.
Wow.
That's like you decided that because something's not going your way, you're going to throw attitude. You're going to want to go back and forth, even as far as like we see my stature as a man.
Yeah.
You are 6 or 7 years old and you think that you're gonna bug up to a grown man because you haven't been put in a space where the parameters and boundaries around what is to be expected of you and how you're supposed to carry yourself.
Yeah.
And I tell them all the time, like I'm giving y'all lessons that are not just for here in the classroom.
Yeah.
Like I'm giving for the world, and in the world, I don't care how old you are, but you think that you're going to cuss and buck at a grown man and there's not going to be nothing that comes after that as a consequence is not reality, bro. And whoever's in your household that is not giving you that game, they're doing you a huge disservice.
Yeah, disservice.
And so, you know what I'm saying? I lead with love at all times and letting them know, like, I am here to try to make you better. So even when I'm being stern on you, it's because I want to see better from you. And a lot of them don't know how to respond to that level of masculinity because they're not used to it.
They're not used
to it. They be discombobulated a little bit. And I'm like,
it ain't no pop. It ain't.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I had to calm moms down too. I'm like, listen, mom.
Yeah.
Like you coming in here all rah trying to advocate for him when he's in the wrong.
Yeah.
So it's like you're enabling him to believe that the way he's showing up is okay, and you're going to go to bat for him.
Right.
Recognize that as a man. I recognize what he needs to grow into to become a man, and I'm trying to give him that. And what you're doing right now is you're directly crippling that. Yeah. We got to be on the same page. We're not together in any way, but I am playing the father figure in his life because I'm with him every day. Yeah. And I know as a man what he needs to get.
Big fact.
He's not getting it. And I'm trying to give it to him. Let's work together to make sure that he's getting that. So when he's out of my presence, he can carry the lessons that we're going and going to the next level and be who he's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And some moms would be like sobering up like, wow, I ain't never had somebody talk to me. Because you got to think about it. The environment we grow up in, it's some women that get that type of adverse conversation from the grown men around. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Getting disrespected and getting talked to crazy. Yeah. And that's when their sons might also see that and think that that's cool.
Right.
So the fact that I have that stern sound, stoic masculinity that I'm talking to you with, but it's coming from a loving place. Yeah. Sometimes they don't even know how to receive it.
Yeah, they don't know how to receive it. Because they probably ain't have a dad.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a perpetual cycle, man, that we gotta them generational traumas that we gotta be breaking.
Gotta break them generational traumas, bro.
You feel me? That's why, man, when I seen that hat on your tape, I was like, I gotta grab this one, bro.
And I appreciate
I gotta get the shirt too.
Let me know.
I need that.
But yeah, man, that's beautiful, man, because growing up, where I grew up around Central Gardens, right?
Okay.
Capitol Heights.
Yeah.
It was no father figures around, bro. It was nothing but single moms in the whole neighborhood, bro.
And grown boys.
If you had a father in the crib, probably was like one, and the father was a crackhead. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so it was kind of like growing up, like you said, bro, like, well, no pops around, bro, and that's why it's important for the pop to stay in the crib, man. And it's important for the moms to let the dad be the dad. Man.
Yeah. And I mean, listen, we even with our young kids, like we be having those moments too. Because, you know, as a mom, you want to always see like the nurture, you want to see the love, you want to see the kid. And then like sometimes I'm like, man, nah, like you all right, get up.
Yeah, that's it.
And it's like mom's like, no, like Because I mean, I got a 10-month-old. I got a 3-year-old and a 10-month-old.
Yeah.
And sometimes they get to going at each other, wrestling and all that. And she's like, no, leave it. I'm like, no, let the boys be the boys, man. You gotta allow that to happen. Because this is the type of things that physically they need, but also emotionally they need, mentally they need, psychologically they need. So but like you said, they need both.
They need both.
I don't care what y'all relationship is, amongst each other, but recognize that the best way to make a well-rounded child is to give them both. They need both parents.
They need both.
That's right. And outside of that, man, y'all deal with y'all adult stuff amongst y'all, but don't use the kids as a pawn against each other. Y'all gotta, at the end of the day, be sound and understanding. Like, we have to be collectively on this mission. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thankful that I have a wife. And our relationship is great in and of itself. We have our ups and downs, but we also recognize, like, our relationship is not this way. It's this way. You know what I'm saying? We are both aligned and going in the same direction. So whether it be our business, whether it be raising our kids, like, we have a collective mission. And when you got something y'all both working towards, yes, it can be conflict, yes, it can be issues, yes, it can be obstacles. But when you got a common goal that y'all working for, y'all always can come back in alignment. That's the thing.
And that's when I tell people, man, you need to separate between how you feel and what's real.
Facts. Big facts.
You feel me?
Big facts.
And it seems like y'all know what's real.
Yeah, for sure.
So how does being a father of 2 sons shape the way you see the world?
First of all, really, I don't even be looking at the world, because the world is finicky. The world is forever changing. There's so much, so much negative and all of that, all of that stuff. And I don't tend to focus on stuff that's outside of my control. I focus on what they need for preparation.
Gotcha.
And even as young as they are right now, we having those conversations, and I'm trying my best, of course, age appropriately, to instill in them what they're going to need for the outside. So even watching how they interact, watching how their dynamic is when they're out in public, you know what I'm saying? Even with my oldest son, like, giving him some freedom to kind of just like go. We go at the playground, like, I'm watching you, but I just want to see how you interact. Like, he'll be the type, he'll be walking, trying to play with the older kids, like, hey, I'm around too. Like, so just giving them the leeway to kind of stumble and fall and make the mistakes while being there to kind of be, that protecting energy. But, like, just overall, just helping them be prepared for what's coming, what the world going to be, as opposed to looking at the world and being like, oh man, I'm trying to do something out here to prepare them for them. I'm trying to prepare them for the world.
That's it, man.
Yeah.
And that's very important, man. Like I told you when I first met you, man. I said, man, there's something about you. I just know your boys ain't gonna be snatching purses in the future.
Oh, definitely not.
You know what I'm saying?
I snatched them.
You feel me? And like I told Jarrell and his wife when I met him, I said, us as fathers and mothers, we have a commitment to society to raise a productive member of society, bro. We owe society that, man.
Absolutely. You know, and so many people drop that ball.
They drop the ball. And then another thing, I think some parents don't ever think that their child want to grow up. That's what I think, bro, because if you knew that your child is going to be an adult, a productive member of society, you would teach them emotional intelligence. You know what I'm saying? You will show more love to them. You know what I'm saying? You will get them mentally prepared for life, you know? And I see that you're doing that, and I'm doing it as well. And then another thing about being a man, you have to take accountability. I do know that, like for my baby girl, I got her a karate. You know what I'm saying? I go to the PTA meetings at her school. Right. I ain't do that with my oldest daughter because during that time in my life, you know what I'm saying, either I ain't have a car or I was drinking or my job hours, I couldn't make it to her school. You know what I'm saying? So all the things that I didn't do with my oldest daughter, I'm doing it for my youngest daughter. It's called taking accountability and not blaming nobody. Because I can easily put the blame on somebody, but I don't. You feel me?
Yeah, facts.
You know what I mean?
And like I said earlier, like it's the grow and learn. Like when we don't know, we can't do. But once you do know, you're responsible for that information.
You're responsible, bro. Mm-hmm. And then it's another thing that I love, bro. It's a difference between growing and evolving.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give me more.
All right, so this is how I'm gonna break it down, right? So growing is what we do, you know, every day we grow, your hair grow, your fingernails grow, you might get taller, you might get bigger, but is your brain growing?
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't start evolving until I completed rehab, and then I really started taking accountability, and I really started working on things I wanted to do in life, became a better dad or whatever. So, and some people don't reach that level. You know?
Absolutely, because like I said, it's a lot of grown boys walking around.
Oh, for sure.
It's a lot of grown boys walking around.
For sure.
I mean, that's why you see all like the violence that we see outside.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of the disrespect to one another, to our women. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of that comes from grown boy energy. Like you haven't became a man.
You haven't.
And unfortunately, a lot of that comes from like that's a generational thing. Mm-hmm. Because I mean, and I'm a bit of a history buff, and not because once again stories matter. So our collective story as Black people in this country has a lot of effect on what we seeing today.
That's big fact.
Because if y'all not aware, like we talking about our dads was born in the 50s, 50s and 60s, and they were coming up in the 70s. Their dads was civil rights, right?
Yeah.
So you thinking about civil rights? We had business owners because this was the time where we wasn't always allowed to be a part of normal society. So they forced us to have to be for ourselves. Like so we had business owners. We had whole Black communities.
Yeah.
We had all of that. Then you move to civil rights. When you move to integration in school.
Yeah.
Specifically as a teacher, I recognize Black students, Black teachers prior to integration. When integration happened, they either made the black teachers turn into janitors or they kicked them out altogether.
I gotta ask this question while you on that. Do you think integration was one of the worst things that happened to us as a Black community?
I would say so.
Drop the jewels.
And people would push back against that. Yeah. What's ironic is even Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
At the end of his journey, he said, "I have made the mistake of trying to enter us into a house that's on fire."
Wow.
So he even saw at the end of the day, it's like, yo, they not trying to be good. Like they're not. They have no desire to give us what we're asking for. And so us trying to integrate and trying to be one kumbaya was not the right move. You know what I'm saying? But to go back to your question, yes, I do believe that because as I said, with the lack of resources, go all the way back. I graduated from A&T. A&T was established in 1891. This is only about 30. Not even 30 years after slavery.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? HBCUs came about because we could not enter predominantly white institutions. And you had scholars. You know what I'm saying? You had inventors. You had all of these great people coming out of these Black schools.
Yeah.
When you talk about on the high school level, they literally integration was the idea of integration is because the same reason why they was burning down the Tulsas in the Durhams and like all of these Black communities because they watched us come from such a visceral experience here to building our own, being more prosperous than they were.
Yeah.
Our kids in less resource schools were becoming more intelligent than the white kids. And so let's put them together, make them feel like they're lesser than, kick all the Black teachers out, and now we're responsible for what you're learning.
For what they learn.
Because y'all are getting knowledge,
real knowledge.
And not even just knowledge, y'all are getting wisdom about who y'all are, what y'all are capable of, and we can't have that because this is what's causing all of this uprising that's taking place.
Yeah.
So moving up, integration, that was about the 50s and 60s, right?
Yeah.
70s comes, what we got? Black Panthers, right? Immediately after that, what we get? Crap.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, tore the streets up. Like we still haven't recovered from the crack.
We still haven't, and specifically because when we think about the Black Panthers,
yes, sir,
and other organizations, because they wasn't the only ones, they was the most prominent, but they wasn't the only ones moving how they was moving.
Mm-hmm.
These were protectors of the community against the outside.
Mm-hmm.
Once they changed that narrative, that we had the same power, we had the same strength, we had the same desire. That's what became gangs.
Yeah.
Because even early gangs was the same thing.
Yeah.
They were fighting with each other on occasion, but it was about protecting the community that they came from.
Big facts.
When they threw crack in there, now it's a money grab.
It's a money grab.
And what we always say, we ain't had the boats to bring that in here. We didn't have the planes to bring in the guns. Where they come from?
Word.
And so now you made public enemy number one. So the generation that was supposed to be raising us got swept up in this.
Yep.
Whether it be mass incarceration or death or addiction, all of these things, and then welfare comes in as well.
Yep.
So now they're telling the women
they definitely keeping the dad out the crib.
You feel me? Because they equated black men to financial gain.
Yeah.
So that's your only. And when we talk about provision, people always talk about provision. Even women today talk about provision. I'm supposed to be paying all the bills, and I do. Let's do that. But provision is not about just what you are giving. Yeah. It's about providing a vision for the family.
Ooh.
Yeah. Provision. So if you don't have vision, you can't provide.
Provision. Providing a vision.
You can't provide. You're leading your family somewhere.
Yeah.
It's not just about money.
Yeah.
And what they did was they made the black man equate to money. So they did one or two things. They gave welfare to women who said, if you are on welfare, you can't have a man in the home.
It better not be a belt or a shoe in that.
You feel me? But also, which people also are not aware of, that's where the boom of, especially here in the DMV area, that's when the boom of like women taking over government jobs.
Yeah.
Women going to college, and not to say, because I know y'all gonna take that the wrong way, not to say that women should not be educated, not to say women are not to be in the workforce. However, that was an intentional plan to make y'all believe that men in your life was not necessary. And what do we hear the rhetoric today? If you ain't paying my bills, what are you here for?
Yeah, big facts.
We are more than just our billful. We are more than just our wallet. We are supposed to be providing more. And not to just put it on y'all, because we need to do better too. And making sure that we're proving that outside of just being able to trick off. Yeah. But in essence, like I said, this is a duality thing. This is a thing that's supposed to be collaborative. Yeah. They destroyed the black family intentionally because the black family is what was leading all of these missions and leading all of these movements. Yeah. They said the black family, the average middle class black family, was who funded the civil rights movement. They recognized that. They said this is the power base. The power base is the family. The power base is the community. Yeah. We got to break that up in order for us to stop them from rising. Yeah. So it was all intentional. And people think it's conspiracy. People think this is history. This is history, y'all. Like, y'all got to realize a lot of this stuff has been specifically intentional. And because we start pointing at each other as the reasons why it's happening, we continue in this perpetual cycle of not being able to fix our own problems. Right. They're not going to fix it for us. They're going to sit back and watch us be self-destructive. We got to come together and realize what the problem was not ours, but the responsibility of fixing it and the solution for that is ours. We got to take that.